In this video, we will show how to read an IO-link parameter within the productivity suite of the Automation Direct PLC utilizing a Balluff Black or Silverline master. So before we get into the actual logic and the instruction, we need to do some homework here. So we're going to read the user color from a Balluff Smart Light. And some information that we need to collect is the index number of the parameter, which is FC in hex, the subindex value, which will be 0. And by using the 0, we can read all 3 bytes of data at once. If you wanted to read the individual bytes, you could use subindex 1, 2, and 3 respectively to read individually the red, green, or blue channel. But by reading subindex 0 of this parameter, we will read all 3 bytes at the same time. So some information we need to know: the index value low byte, the hex value FC will be contained in the low byte, so we need to change that to decimal, so that's a decimal 252. The high byte will be 0 because the parameter index value just occupies the low byte. The subindex is 0, and the parameter length is 3, and then we'll need to know which IO-link port on the Balluff master that this IO-link device is connected to. Before getting into the instruction, we're going to need to create 2 arrays. We need to create an input array, and the number of elements of that array is the parameter length plus 1 or 5, whichever is larger. So in this case, the parameter length was 3, so 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 is less than 5, so we need to make the input array 5. Now, on that input array, byte 1, if we see a value of 3, the instruction was successful. If we see any other value, there was an error in the message. So if there is no error, bytes 2 on will contain the parameter value. In this case, the red, green, and blue channel values. If there is an error, bytes 2 through 5 will contain the error code, and these error codes can be found in the individual IO-link devices manuals. So the input array for us will be 5 because our parameter length was 3 plus 1, which was 4. So it's 4 or 5, whichever is larger, so we'll go with 5. The output array is always going to be 3 elements, and that will contain the index value low byte, which is going to be a 252 decimal, which is our FC hex value in decimal format. Byte 2 is the index value high byte, which will be 0, and the subindex value will be 0 for this as well. So now we can move into the productivity suite. In the productivity suite, we will select this Ethernet IP explicit message and drop it on a rung. There may be multiple Ethernet IP devices. In this case, I have 2 IO-link masters within this project, so select the correct one. Connection type will be unconnected message. Service type will be generic. For the Balluff master, the service ID will always be 50. The class ID will always be 150. You want to use attribute ID. 3 is the read command, so we'll leave it. A value of 2 is a write command. The instance ID is the port number on the master. So if I had my Balluff Smart Light connected to port number 5 on the master, I would enter 5 here. There are multiple tags that you can create for your message instructions, like the message instruction in progress or the message instruction complete. The easiest way to do that is to check this structure, and I'll just create a quick tag here, message structure abbreviated. And now I will create one tag called message structure, and then within that will be the elements dot in progress, dot complete, dot success, etc. We said we needed to create an input and output array. So on the input tab, we'll check the input enable input, and we'll make a message in array tag. And we said that needed to be an element of array of 5 elements. So the first thing we'll do is integer 8-bit unassigned, and we will make that 5. We need to populate 5 within that number of elements. We'll go to the output tab. We'll enable the output. We'll create a message out tag, message out array tag. And we said that is always going to be an elements of 3. So we'll go integer 8-bit unassigned 3 elements, and we'll populate this with a 3. So this is all we need to do for the instruction. So we'll click OK. It's going to ask us if we want to define these tags. We're going to click OK. So now the instruction is complete. Couple things that you will need to do. You'll need to transition the message. So you'll probably need some sort of toggle bit or some trigger for the message. I'll just create a simple bit here. And then the other thing I like to do is I come down here and find the copy data instruction. And we need to move information into that message output array tag. So let's find that message out array tag. And we're going to put in the 3 elements, 1, 2, and 3. And the information that we're going to need, the information we need to populate here is the index value low byte, which is 252 in decimal. We need to populate the index value high byte, which was 0, and the index value, or excuse me, the sub-index value, which was 0. So by putting these values into the output array, when the message is toggled, we will be reading from parameter 252, or in the previous slides, hex FC, and that is the user color. And we will read that value back, and it will occupy the message in array. Those values will occupy that array.